Hey gang, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm just doing a speed draw of Link from Legend of Zelda plus one of the unpettable dogs from Breath of the Wild. Like, this is an issue I have with this game. I got Breath of the Wild for Christmas. I've been absolutely obsessed with it. It's a lovely game. Like, I really love the art direction, like the Studio Ghibli style flat colours of the characters, like the models are really nice, the expression of the characters, like they're really expressive for CG models. I really like that. Yeah, no problem so far. But there's dogs at every stable and like at various other points in the game, and you can't pet them. And I was also promised that you could throw a stick for them, and I have been unable to throw sticks for them, which is like, let's be real, like, in the order of things that I want to do with dogs, it is patting, cuddling, walking is like near the bottom of that list, and throwing a manky, sloppy tennis ball or stick for a dog is like, okay, I'll do this because you love it. I'm not enjoying this game. So like, I was excited for the dogs in Breath of the Wild because my friend said you could throw sticks for them, so I assumed there would be dog petting, but there is a disappointing lack of dog petting content in the game. And I was actually reading an interview with one of the game programmers, or like heads of programming or something, and they were talking about the unpettable dogs, and they said that it was actually a conscious decision that their game staff made, because that petting a dog wouldn't be useful for enough things for it to be worth them doing all the programming and the timing into it, which I can understand, but at the same time, like, does petting a dog need to be useful? Every time I walk past one of these unpettable dogs and I can't pet it, it makes me a little bit unhappy. And also, one of the, like, I don't know, little mini bonus content things in the game is that if you make friends with the dog, it will lead you to some buried treasure. And how on earth are you supposed to make friends with a dog if you cannot give it the nice little pat on the head and tell it what a good boy it is? So yeah, I have lots of feelings about the unpettable dogs. So based purely on dog content, Breath of the Wild is second favourite Zelda game. Twilight Princess is now favourite, even though the actual story of that game is a bit of a mess, and you spend the first half an hour trying to figure out how to fish when you don't really want to fish. You just have to do it for arbitrary game reasons. But in that game you can in fact pick up a dog and carry it around, and there is working stick throwing mechanism, and yeah, like, it's important, it's an issue. I can't believe it's been like a year since the game came out and they didn't patch the issue. Obviously none of the people working on the game were sufficiently dog people, which is funny because, like, if you actually look at the dogs in the game, they've done an amazing job with the animation of the dog and like the sound design and the acting. Like, they do all the little excited sneeze and the little whiny yawn, and there's some lovely, like, really like nuanced kind of acting going into it. But there's no petting, so it's like someone liked dogs. The person who programmed this dog liked dogs. Like, Link's been in a coma for like 100 years, woken up, all his friends are dead. Let him pet the dogs. So this is that 5-minute rant out of the way. That's why I'm drawing this, because if I can't pet the dogs, I'm gonna goddamn draw the dogs. And I wanted to draw something from Breath of the Wild anyway, because like I've been having so much fun playing it. And this week, which was like last week actually, I had been having a bit of a rubbish week and I hadn't done much apart from play Breath of the Wild and try and do things and fail at doing things. So I wanted to draw something like cute and low stakes and with dogs. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this drawing turned out. Like, if you have been looking at the footage, the outline of it took quite a while because I started outlining it with the pen tool and then it looked a bit too like clean. So I went back, like looking back at it, the dog looks fine, but like when I had just done the outline I was like, no, it looks disgusting. It's a nightmare, nope, can't do it. So I went back with the pencil tool and made it, I wanted to get more like a warm painterly colouring for this one, because of the warm painterly feelings I have for dogs. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. I wanted it to be kind of bright and happy colouring that's also quite soft. So I decided to try out a kind of almost marker coloured effect. I'm terrible at using markers in real life, and I wish I was better, but like no matter how hard I try, it just never works out very well. And the fact that markers are really expensive is also a bit of a deterrent, and I'm not very patient. So I was going ahead to experiment with this in digital colouring, which is nice because you can just keep going and like just draw straight over it if it goes wrong, whereas with markers there's a lot more planning involved, which I think is why I'm terrible at them, let's be real. So yeah, I was having a bit of fun with the different paintbrushes. I think I ended up using the flat oil paintbrush a lot in Clip Studio Paint and the flat marker brush a lot, doing the markings on this collie. And it reminded me of, I looked after a collie in summer called Misty Blue, and she was a sweetheart. I'll try and put a picture in of her, because she's a good girl, and she had a little raincoat and it was the most precious thing. And yeah, let me know in the comments, are you a dog person? Are you a cat person, or just not an animal person? And yeah, if you're not an animal person at all, like what fills the void in your life? No, that sounds mean. But like, you know, like I love dogs because they're just so simple and uncomplicated, and they're just so full of joy, like in a way that people really aren't, and I'm not full of joy at all. So it's really refreshing for me to be around just a happy little chap. Like the dog I was just looking after, he was called Sammy, and he is so happy all the time. It's so cute. He actually strained his tail because he wagged it too hard in the past. Like that's how happy he is. He can't control how happy he is, and it's so cute. Yeah. Like, also in the comments, what's your favourite dog breed? I'm torn between Labradors and Golden Retrievers because I like a big clumpy dog that also is just, those kind of dogs are just, they're clever, but they're not very stubborn, like terriers and stuff. They're very clever, but they're also stubborn and they don't listen to you. So I do like a nice, eager to please Labrador. But also, like, husky type dogs are so beautiful, and like collie type dogs that are really intelligent and need lots of stimulation. They're really nice. But like, I just want someone who's just like, pets please, food please. Not someone who's like, okay, now let's play for 5 hours. That's not what I want out of a dog. I want a good bean that wants pats and friendship. Yeah, I was literally looking after a dog this week and it just left, so that's why I have so many feelings about dogs. So yeah, this drawing's wrapping up. What do you think of this colouring? I'm quite liking it. It's not as refined as it could have been, but I want to try and experiment a bit more with like this style of colouring, and try and like make it a bit more refined and a bit more polished. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. And don't forget, let's talk about dogs. Always down to talk about dogs. Okay, you guys have a lovely day. Bye!